So we often get asked how to care for your poinsettias. Originally poinsettias come from Mexico, so they need quite a warm temperature, probably around about 18 degrees. So it's very important when you're buying your poinsettias that you don't take it out into the cold air. It needs to be quite a constant temperature right the way through. So when you see poinsettias by the doors of supermarkets, or even worse outside, avoid them, because what you'll find, you'll get them home and they'll start to go really droopy, and there's nothing you can do to actually stop that. It's going to die. So avoid buying a poinsettia from a cold place. If you buy it from somewhere that you have to travel outside into the cold, then get it in its sleeve, and if you can get a bag right over the top or some paper over the top to keep it the temperature constant, because they do not like cold temperatures. So that's a vital thing. Poinsettias have these. This one's obviously a white one, but they come in red, in pink, and there's also cream ones as well. And this bract, it's actually a bract, not a flower that you can see on them. And the bract comes about November time through to probably January. Whenever you see a poinsettia, you think, wow, it's Christmas, and they just give such an impact. They're really good. So you can use them as just a decoration. You could use them as a table centerpiece. So if they're by a drafty door, so by the front door, I would avoid that. In the living room maybe, where it's relatively, the air is relatively stable and not going to get cold, that's ideal. Right in the center there, that is the flower. So the flowers are tiny, but the bracts are the things that really give you the impact. So that is the color. Be aware that these are in the euphorbia family, and if the leaves get damaged, you see a white milky sap on them. Now traditionally euphorbias actually are quite poisonous. Poinsettias are not majorly poisonous, but if you do get that sap on your skin, I would suggest you to wash it off as quick as you can. They shouldn't really harm pets or people, but don't eat them. It's kind of usually common sense really. If you see leaves on the floor, don't let the cats eat them. Just pick them up, dispose of them. But they're not really poisonous, but just be a little bit careful. Any problems with poinsettias? So the most important thing really is not to overwater it. So wait until the surface of the soil is slightly dry. So if you put your finger on it and just give it a finger test and see if it's just slightly dry. If it's slightly dry, give it a little bit of water. Never have a poinsettia, or in fact it goes for most plants really, never have them standing in water. So put a little tray on them, just so it catches any little drips, but you never want plants standing in water. It would absolutely kill the roots. If you overwater them, you can get grey mould. Now grey mould, obviously stop the overwatering and spray with a fungicide. You can also get scale insect or mealybug, but like most houseplants, they're relatively straightforward. So how do you care for your poinsettia after Christmas? Now a lot of people will have this, it'll look great through December, January, and they'll chuck it. Other people want more from it. So if you want to take care of it and have your poinsettia again next year, what you need to do is you actually need to prune this about April time. So prune it to about 4 inches from the base, prune it quite hard. Then you can encourage it with a high potash fertiliser through the summer. About November time, you want to restrict the amount of light it gets, so it doesn't want to be in a lit room. You need to have at least 12 hours of darkness for the poinsettias to encourage these bracts to come through again. Now, I remember my mum used to try and get these to come back again next year. She never quite succeeded in getting them as good as what the grower gets them, but it's certainly worth a try. They still make a nice house plant even without the bracts on them.